Today, I want to talk about the possibility that Lucifer is distant from the other princes of hell, perhaps even hating them and trying to twist their relationship into something of a mockery for the world to look at. Now, hell in Hazbin Hotel and Helluva has 7 levels to it that are referred to as rings in the show. Each is modeled after one of the 7 deadly sins, and each is ruled over by a famous demon prince as listed in the real-life Peter Binsfield classification of demons. Lucifer is the prince of the Pride Ring, which is the uppermost layer of hell. Lucifer rules over the other 6 princes as the official king, so you would think that they are his subservient allies looking over the lower levels, but we've already seen that there is some friction between Lucifer and at least one other prince, and I think it's possible he may have a bad relationship with most, if not all of them. In fact, Lucifer on some level may be the good guy, and he may be trying to humiliate the other princes with the way he rules hell and lets them indulge in their sins. Lucifer is famous in real-life mythology as being a fallen angel who rebelled against God because of his pride, and thus he was cast down to hell. The other princes of hell, and really demons as a whole, were also said to be angels who rebelled with him. However, that isn't necessarily the case in the show. The only characters in the show who have been confirmed to be fallen angels are Lucifer himself, and, by lineage, Charlie as well. Species like imps and succubus are native to hell, but the last time I was able to verify, it was uncertain if the other demonic princes would be fallen angels as well, or naturally occurring powerful forces that are native to hell. It may even be that some of the princes will be angels while others are native demons, as Lucifer, Satan, and Beelzebub are often considered the same entity, or part of the same unholy trinity of fallen angels, with perhaps the 4 lower princes being actual demons instead of just fallen angels. Regardless of who is an angel or who is a demon, I think Lucifer might have a really low opinion of the other princes, and in fact may despise them for their sinful nature. Lucifer in the show has been equated with the snake from the Garden of Eden with his apple and serpent imagery. Now, in mainstream Judaism, they say the serpent is not Lucifer or a fallen angel, but the mythology behind the serpent is rather complex. The serpent was, at the time of its writing, the latest of many myths that featured a figure giving humans some sort of enlightenment, and often facing punishment. Outside of Jewish myth, there is the story of Prometheus, who gave fire to humans, representing light and knowledge, and was punished by Zeus as a result by being chained to the earth and having an eagle eat his liver each day. The Enlightenment figure is a serpent even in other cultures, such as the feathered serpent Quetzalcoatl, who was said to visit the Aztecs and bring them knowledge. Now, outside of mainstream Judaism, we have the Jewish Kabbalah, the received traditions that were sometimes written down at later dates. The primary text of this is the Zohar, a multi-volume set that has a rabbi's interpretation of the various different teachings he had heard about the Torah. In the Zohar, it is said that the serpent was being controlled by the fallen angel Samael, who is one of several entities mentioned in the Book of Enoch called the Sons of God, or the Sons of Elohim. The Sons of Elohim are where we get most of our mythology about what we now call fallen angels. These Sons of Elohim were said to be the descendants of the actual Elohim, or the Council of El, or the Council of God, making them lower divine beings that we translate to as angels. These Sons of Elohim were said to breed increasingly into natural human lines, creating a second race called the Nephilim, who were said to be giants that resorted to cannibalism after eating all of the food. These fallen angels were supposed to teach humans certain good knowledge, such as architecture, but they decided to rebel against God and teach humans magics they were not ready for, as well as impregnating their human women as discussed before. The serpent then is just a figure representing all of the fallen angels, not just Samael, and Lucifer is the same thing. He is essentially a more modern idea that unites Samael and the other fallen angels of the Enoch story as one entity that rebelled against God. In Jewish legend, the serpent is very much seen as purposely evil, deceiving humans for a horrible outcome, but in the stories like Prometheus, the serpent figure has more of a nuanced character. Prometheus can be mischievous and perhaps delight in messing with the other gods, but he gives what he does to humans out of a desire to help them, for they are his creations. Prometheus is still punished, but it is more a sacrifice he made for humans. It is possible that Lucifer may not be the villain he is often portrayed as in the Helliverse, but instead was a figure who meant well for humans. We've explored many times in our videos that the scariest thing about Lucifer is that he seems to just let the humans have whatever they want. The laws are so relaxed in hell that even other princes like Mammon are able to copy Lucifer's theme park, despite it being a blatant ripoff of his own pet project as the King of Hell. Lucifer seems to allow whatever humans want in hell because he believes that the good souls would essentially rise above temptation and not bother with vices that so obviously ruin entire lives. The problem is that it allows for the more horrendous of human souls to easily manipulate a large mass of people who do fall for those vices and exploit them for more power, creating a darker and darker world where those vices are easier to get your hands on. This is the logic behind giving Adam and Eve the fruit of forbidden knowledge, the belief that the wisdom would make them like angels, like Lucifer, and be able to see past God's demands or wishes and think for themselves. There is going to be some fallout to explore here, with Lucifer ending up with Adam's first wife, Lilith, and Eve being nowhere on screen so far, but it paints the picture of an angel who isn't all that evil. With all that in mind, Lucifer may have as much disdain for the princes as he might for the lowly sinners who fall for every sin they can. Lucifer was banished from heaven and sent to hell. He makes the most of it with his theme park and his Ticketmaster ripoff on Blitz's phone called Lucimaster, which appears to sell tickets to places like his theme park or Lilith's concerts. These are expensive or high society events that he can focus on because he doesn't succumb to all-consuming vices like Angel Dust does with his addictions. While trapped here, he seems determined to turn hell into one big circus act, attempting to display just how imperfect God's creations are. Lucifer himself dresses as a circus ringleader, and thus the rings of hell become circus rings. VivziePop confirmed on Twitter that the other princes of hell are meant to represent different acts in a circus, such as Beelzebub being about animal shows with her jumping through hoops. Now, Beelzebub and the other princes do have powerful places in hell, but this theme that Lucifer pushes feels almost like he's showing off the princes as well as the sinners, using them as the key performances. Beelzebub is doing spectacular tricks, thinking she is showing off, but in the grand scheme of things, Lucifer is using her to show off how ignorant she is to the suffering her sin of gluttony has created. Each prince gives some sort of humiliating act that they think is showing off their greatness, but is really being used to display all the horrible things they've created. In the circus act, Satan is believed to be the strong man, as he represents Hell's army of imps who, in addition to farming, do violent missions on Earth. Below Beelzebub is Mammon, who is a literal jester, indicating that Lucifer sees him as a clown. Mammon, as the Prince of Greed, is obsessed with money, so much so that he's destroying the greed ring and its people in order to just get more of it, though it will clearly be useless without anything left to spend it on when Mammon destroys the entire ring. Because of this, Lucifer sees him as just some sort of clown for everyone to laugh at, someone who doesn't realize what a joke he is. Asmodeus, with his top hat and sudden appearance on stage, is said to be a stage magician, and the succubus strippers thus are Vegas-type showgirls, beautiful assistants who are the real attraction being put up by Asmodeus to give the impression that he is the king of sexuality, but all of that is just smoke and mirrors, as they say. We don't really know what will happen with Leviathan as the Prince of Envy, but at the very bottom of hell we would have Belphegor, who in my previous video I theorized to also perhaps be combined with Baphomet in the show, as Sloth appears to be home to candle-headed Baphomet-type demons. Baphomet is known for being a balance of genders, a bearded goat with breasts, and thus I speculated that Baphomet will maybe be a bearded lady circus act, the image of a slothful, unkempt marvel for the crowd to laugh at. All of these are just ways that Lucifer takes the natural sinful nature of the demons and presents them as a fun performance that he is the ringleader of. In previous videos, I theorized that the sinners are restricted to pride to protect the other species from the immortal sinners invading their spaces, but I almost wonder if Lucifer wanted the sinners so that they could develop separately from the other princes, not letting their natural sins influence the sinners even more, to see what the sinners could become when given total freedom. But what do you guys think? Let me know your thoughts in the comments down below, and I'll see you next time.